Hey everybody, it's Chris, and we're going to take a look at a disc that I've been talking about quite a bit lately, but finally I'm actually going to review the Westside Longbowman. Now the Longbowman has been in a couple other videos I made. It's the comparison disc I used for the Convict review video, and it's also featured in the Stable Fairways video. I'll link that up here on an iCard. The reason that I link this Stable Fairways video so often is because it has 6 really strong discs in it, and you can see them flying with each other and against each other to get a good idea of maybe which disc in that category you're looking at. So it does have the Longbowman, it has the Culverin, it has the Convict, it has the St. Pro, it has the GL Spark, and it has the Westside Boatman. Now the Boatman kind of skews up into the long-range driver for sure in that category, but the other 5 are all very good stable to overstable fairway options. Since then they've also added the River Pro and the Zion, which I think would fit well in that video, but you can build the comparison off their review videos. So, Longbowman, from that group it's a 1.8 centimeter rim, which gave it one of the more narrow rims. It's very comfortable in the hand, but it doesn't sacrifice distance and it doesn't sacrifice on stability. And that's what you're going to see in this video. So, moving past the stable fairways, in this video what you're going to get to see is Convict beat in Felon. In the first course I played, you're going to see me trying to throw through gaps. You're going to see the Longbowman either tilted or flat, and it's going to finish hard left, and a lot of times I'll get like a flare skip or a wide skip, whereas the Convict I'm throwing more flat, and it might finish in the same spot if I flex the Longbowman, but it's coming from a straight flight as opposed to a flex flight, and that's because you need to adapt the disc for what you're trying to do. And that extra stability just needs some flex to get through. All that said, that's not me trying to deter you from using the disc. The reason I'm saying that is because the Longbowman and the Convict are not the exact same disc. The Longbowman is more overstable, has a more stable finish. It's not going to tip as hard. What that makes it very useful for is if the winds pick up. If you know the Convicts are going to be getting pushed around a little bit, you can step up to a Longbowman. You can count on it to fight through that wind just a little bit better. It's not quite that Felon level or that Ahti level. You're not going to have to just worry about it slamming down to the ground. It'll still get that nice straight flight before it finishes reliably. So that's kind of my quick take, maybe not so quick take on the Longbowman. But if you have questions or comments, please put them below so I can get back to you. As always, I love responding to the questions that come through there. And what else? Flow versus trespass and sword is in process. I've got most of my video footage done, waiting on Ryan and Pete. When they get their video footage done, we'll get it all cobbled together and put out as well. That one's going to be a lot of fun. And I'm also looking at truth versus EMAC truth. The reason for that being, I know there are a lot of questions about what happened and why is the EMAC truth there, what happened with the truth, what are the flight number differences, etc. So maybe we're going to take a quick look at that, and then we'll do some flight differences with some of those discs in comparison as well. But this is the Longbowman. Enjoy the video. I'll do some commentary on there. Put those questions below, and thanks for watching. Bye. Off to Wendellmore Park we go. And these first couple of shots, they're going to be pretty similar style. You're going to see a gap down the middle. You're going to see the Convict stay up a little bit straighter and higher in that floating flight, whereas the Longbowman, as you saw here, has that nice overstable finish and it skips left. It's going to be very similar in the second shot. The Longbowman's going to cut harder. It's going to finish on more of a hyzer. It's going to flare a little bit, whereas the Convict's going to stay straighter in the air with that little slight finish at the end. The next video is just a safe hyzer shot. I'm trying to hit a landing zone so I don't go OB left. Both discs handle this shot really well, but you can see the difference in stabilities by the angle they're coming down at. You'll notice the Longbowman's coming in at a steeper angle. That's just a little bit extra stability the disc has. So here is the only full power throw of the whole video. You're going to see the Longbowman stands up beautifully on a straight flight. It's going to finish about 20 feet left and 20 feet short of the basket, whereas the Convict is going to tip right and actually end up long of the basket. So different flights there. The next video session took me out to Severn Lang. And although this course is beautiful for throwing and testing discs, I noticed when I was editing that the horizon kind of hides them. When you watch, if you can look closely and see the finishes of the two discs, the Felon's going to come in a little bit more right of the Longbowman, but that's because it was thrown a little more right as well. Here's the Longbowman versus Convict. If you can track them into the sky, you're going to see the Convict stands up and carries a little bit straighter on the flight before coming over the backstop, whereas the Longbowman has started fading left. Those are actually the same Longbowman throws for both videos. And the dogs. The next pair of throws were probably my favorite for the whole testing. The right side of the basket's protected, it's uphill, so I'm throwing a big Annie sweep, and you can see, you're not going to be able to see the discs in the full flight, but you'll be able to see them land on the hill. The Longbowman's going to finish between the two bushy tall trees on the left, whereas the Convict's going to land right next to the basket on the right. There's the flash there. And then with the Felon, I actually released it a little bit more right, and you can tell how similar the flights were because I released it a little more right, and you're going to watch it land a little more right than the Longbowman. So very similar flights on this forced Annie for the Broken and Felon. And hole 18 at Severn Lang will be the last comparison set of throws. Here you're trying to get far enough up to get past the corner so that you can approach the pin, which is tucked maybe 200 feet left into the woods there. You're going to see both of these discs end up very similar positions, and that's because I adapted the angles, knowing how the discs fly compared to one another. I adjusted so that they would land in similar positions. And here's the Felon again, different line than the Longbowman, more overstable, but getting to a very similar spot because of that adjustment. On the quick recap, the Westside Longbowman is a 1.8 centimeter rim fairway driver with a fairly overstable finish. You can see here, even with thrown with power, it's going to hold that beautiful straight line before finishing predictably. If this video was helpful or useful, please feel free to like it, share it, or give it a thumbs up, and look forward to the next one. Thanks.